Welcome back to another episode of No Money Spent. In the last episode, we made a pretty big upgrade, getting the team of the season, Austin Matthews. But with the latest content release, we actually got some other upgrades as well. We're also going to test out the cycle shoot sliders in this episode. Talked about that a little bit last time to see if we can actually get the AI to move once you set up in the offensive zone. Let's get into it. All right, so first things first, let's take a look at the updates that we had to our team. So first and foremost, 96 Victor Hedman came out, and obviously the team of the season version jumped up a little bit more. This is actually a pretty big one too, because I think the acceleration was very low, and at 96 only being 94, not ideal, but I think with another upgrade or two, we're laughing. He's going to be one of the best cards in the game. Glad I made him, and I've been happy with his card ever since I've gotten it. Now, last time we also started upgrading the Matt Duchene, replaced Martin Necas. I am super okay with upgrading Matt Duchene simply because at 96, his card is an endgame card. He's got max speed, shooting, hand stats, as well as 99 face-offs, and he's 6'1", 210. So even though his card says 96, he isn't a true 96. Now, right now, at only 91 overall, he's got 96 speed, 98 acceleration. We can get that up one more and max out his acceleration for 3 more power-up collectibles. So I was able to trade in some of the junk I got, and we went ahead. Now he's got max acceleration, 95 face-offs. Low-key, almost ready to put him ahead of Matthews already, but we'll leave that because Austin Matthews, we did upgrade it in the last episode as well. Now, one of the things I want to bring up and talk about in this episode is the quest for 99. So these sets that came out at the beginning of the year had a lot of promise. They did not deliver, in my opinion. I think that they were overhyped at launch of the game. I did the HUT deep dive for EA this year, and I maybe didn't understand it as much either when I was interviewing Nicholas, the prior mode dev, about this set line, because as we've gone along, not only do you have to play the game an exceptional amount to actually get the XP collectibles, but the stuff required to actually get in and get the weekly reward or whatever it is ended up being pretty expensive. I kind of thought that it was going to be free, which would have been a little bit much more lucrative. By just playing the game, you get, whatever the weekly thing is. The thing is now is, as the year's gone along, it's every single one has required so many XP collectibles that if you were just a casual player, myself, I was not able to play for the majority of March because I was away casting the Gaming World Championship. I missed a lot. There is no way I'm going to be able to catch up by the time that level 40 happens, which is very soon, and this set comes out. But I want to start focusing on a little bit more. And there has been some improvements, but they're basically in HUT Rush, which is frustrating because I hate HUT Rush in the way that it's actually made right now. I think it has some promise, but I don't think they'll ever fix it. So in HUT Rush, they took away the XP rewards for a little while, like the actual cards, which was a major focus, or maybe a non-focused reward, was that you were getting so many XP collectibles. Now they have juiced them back up again. So 45,000 points, you can get 3, and then I believe at 205,000 you get 5 for a total of 8. So we're actually gonna go and do this in this episode real quick. For anyone that doesn't really focus on HUT Rush, the easiest way to do these and get this amount of points is to just do the objectives on Rookie. Very, very easy to do. So for this one specifically, you just gotta take 15 backhand shots, perform 20 spinorama deeks, backhand goals, hits, and passes. Very, very easy. So we're gonna go ahead and do this. I also like that the actual draft has usable cards. For too long, we were getting silver and bronze. So we'll go with Shaq Hyman. Also, what a flop in game 1 by the Oilers. Yikes. Oilers fans in the comments section, let me know how you feel, because blowing that game when Draisaitl kind of went out for a little while, kind of scary, especially considering Stuart Skinner is apparently owned by the Vancouver Canucks. I still think that Edmonton wins in 5. Brick Bowser, there he is. All right, maybe not 5. I'm being ridiculous. We'll go with Danico. See, I like the draft actually having good players. That's a good change. That was something we asked for a long time in HUT Rush. And then we get, Brent Burns, let's go. Some MSPs. It's been so long since I've done HUT Rush. And we'll go with Goalie Bob. All right, so we're gonna work and see how fast I can get these done. Usually only takes a game or two, but I'm still ass cheeks at the game, so we'll see. So backhand shots, spinorama, backhand goals, hits, and passes. We'll go on Rookie, see how many we can get done. Again, this is a great way, especially for newer players as well, because HUT Rush rewards are instant. Not good rewards, but it's stuff, All right, here we go. So, let's start the daily yap. That's what we're gonna call it, where I just go on, 15-minute rants. Sheldon Keefe just fired as the Leafs head coach. Super obvious. Everyone could have seen that coming. I mean, he was basically like talking about his new job or basically doing an interview in his going away press conference. I gotta make passes here, right? Are these not counting? Hello? Did these count? Like, this is why Hut Rush just stinks. Is that not a... Okay. Okay, I wonder if I just use, if I use the... Yeah, okay, we're gonna try it. I think it's just the total, or the button passing. Maybe that does it. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, just hot potato. Yeah. Now we're hut rushing. Anyway, so Sheldon Keefe fired as Leaf head coach. Not gonna lie, when you look at his record, it's actually incredible. I think it was like 217 and 95 in the regular season. Obviously, he had loaded Leaf teams, or very good Leaf teams, and his inability to coach in the playoffs was well documented. It's what got him fired. I'd love if he came to coach the San Jose Sharks. A couple reasons. You know, it might be a bit of a hot take, especially if you're a Leafs fan. You think that Sheldon Keefe is the worst coach of all time. I disagree. I think that he got out-coached in every single, playoff series he had, except this last one. I think that he played really... In games 5, 6, and 7, I think we saw Sheldon's best coached, round, simply because they played playoff hockey. But he didn't get it done, so it doesn't matter. The next Sharks coach is basically cannon fodder. Like, if David Quinn... I can't believe David Quinn got fired, because I don't think he did a bad job. To be honest, he had, like, a 10-game stretch where they were, like, 6-0-4, which still blows my mind. That said, Sheldon worked well with the core of the Leafs when they were young. The Sharks are going to have very young, talented players, especially with Macklin Celebrity, my boy. So we'll see. But yeah, man, I don't know what better coach you're going to get on the market right now for the Sharks. Some people brought up Jay Woodcroft. I love Jay Woodcroft when he was an assistant here. I don't know. I feel like he would only go to a playoff team, and maybe Sheldon would too. But I don't know. It's maybe Sheldon wants the no pressure, Signs like he's got a 2-year deal, hasn't even kicked in for the Leafs, so maybe he takes some time as well. But I don't know, I was just thinking about it. I wouldn't mind Sheldon as the Sharks head coach. I think he's a fine head coach. I just think that, wasn't able to get it done with the Leafs. I also think that was a massive personnel issue. The power play, though, these backhand shots aren't going to backhand themselves. Oh my God, what a save. What are we at now? Let's take a look. 8. Also need to make hits, so shove checks also work for hits, which is nice. Brick Bowser. Man, that was like 6 years ago for all the OGs in my channel that remember that. Not 6, but like 4. It was like one of the first Who Should You Choose video. I should probably score on some of these, but you don't even need to get it on net, eh? All right, we're a period in. Let's see how many we got. All right, we only need 205,000. So backhand shots are almost done. And then the hits will get done as well. And then we can do spitoramas. But who do you think the head coach of the Leafs is? I think they need a hard ass, and the only one I can think of that's available is Berube. So we'll see. I think they need a hard ass coach. I was talking about this on stream, too. We got a lot of Leaf talk lately, obviously. It dominates the hockey universe, which is why I think it's good when the Leafs are in the playoffs still. Here is my prediction. Mitch Marner owns the Leafs this year. He has a no-move clause. So he doesn't have to go anywhere if he doesn't want to. And he's a free agent, an unrestricted free agent. And he's a 100-point player. So he is going to get his bag. It doesn't matter where it's from. Darren Ferris is his agent, and historically, Darren Ferris clients, they go to free agency in their walk year. They usually go to free agency. Here is what I actually think happened. I think that the Leafs ask him to move, waive his no trade. He says, nope, not happening. They then offer him an extension of around 10 million, maybe 10.5 or 11, in which Marner would say no. And he goes to free agency. After free agency, I think he signs with the Leafs, much like what Steven Stamkos did. And the reason why I think that is he's local. His family's here, he's from here, and a lot of Leaf fans that came to my chat said he wouldn't want to play here because the fans don't want him here. That's untrue. All of Mitch Marner is not a good public speaker, and not everyone is. It's not an easy thing to do. But a lot of his stuff is arrogant undertones. Like the God comment, which I don't think is that bad. But nonetheless, there is an arrogant undertone. It's always been the thing with Marner. He doesn't care, I'm sure he reads it and does, no one likes to hear everyone crap on themselves. Because what'll happen is the season will start, he'll put up 40 points in 30 games, and Leaf fans will love him again. It's just the Leaf fan base. This is what happens, right? And then, it'll be whatever. I think that it's not even that bad of a thing for the Leafs. Obviously, losing Marner, 26-year-old, 100-point player for nothing is devastating. However, in the situation that you're in, $11 million in cap space means that you could keep Domi, and I think we can all agree Domi was a better playoff player this year. You know, like, he was probably their best player, one of them, and Bertuzzi, or would you keep both of them instead of Marner? You know, and there's an argument to be had about that. But, again, I just don't think that Marner will waive to go anywhere. The better one, like the perfect world scenario, is Tavares leaving and getting traded. But that presents an even bigger issue, because he's only going to waive to go to a cup contender. And there's not really a cup contender that can afford, you know, $11 million, right? And Tavares is a good player. I think that everyone's saying, all the Leaf fans that say he's not a good player, that's insane. You know, he's a 60, 70-point player. He's just not nearly worth $11 million. Same situation with Domi. Domi was a better player than Tavares in the playoffs. Tavares scored a couple big goals. Can't take that away from him. But, I have to get spin checks here, right? But imagine you could Domi is worth $6 million, let's say, on the high end, and did the same as Tavares, and arguably more impactful, and he costs half the cap hit, right? Like, that's where the discrepancy is. If you can move Tavares, you know, I would start by stripping him of the captaincy. It's Matthews' team. I think this playoff run kind of cemented it. Although he didn't play, he gutted it out, whatever the injury is, and it's ridiculous that he didn't say what the injury was at the media thing, that, by the way. But it just clearly is Matthews' team. You know, whether you say that he's a good captain or not, he's better than Tavares, who just basically didn't say anything for 7 years. And it's time, right? So, much like it happened with the Sharks, Thornton and Marlowe, it happened. Pavelski, you know, like they sometimes that happens, right? And it doesn't mean that you can't bring John back, but John's getting older. He's not a good skater, never has been. And, you know, it's time to move on. Now, if you can move Tavares, the problem is you're going to have to retain like $6 million. And then you're only bringing in a $6 million player, so it's kind of a wash, right? Like, I don't know how that would work. On top of that, the one bonus that the Leafs have is that because Tavares' contract is almost all signing bonus, only the team that gets him only has to pay him real dollars, about $700,000 for the year, which is huge for a team, but more for a rebuilding team. Like, the owner is only on the hook for another $700,000 for John Tavares. But again, you'd have to find the cap room to play, and then John would have to waive. So, like, the only team I could think of is if maybe the Colorado Avalanche find a way. They have a really big issue for a number 2 center. I don't know if John's a number 2 center anymore. There's an argument to be made about that. I think on Colorado, he'd be really good. But again, they'd have to find the cap space for him, and I don't think that's a possibility. It's not like he's going to go to Utah or Seattle. There's no way he's going to accept that, so I don't think that anything happens, which is that's the issue. Like, the only way the Leafs can get rid of Marner is if they simply don't play him. Like, that's it. Like, do they make the playoffs 100% if they don't play Mitch Marner and eat $11 million? No, like they don't. They don't make the. I mean, they might be a wild card team, maybe, right? But the risk in that is ridiculous to just not play him, you know. So that's not gonna happen. John Tavares, like, he could be scratched and stuff, and, you know, maybe he's got a little bit more pride, doesn't want to, and agrees to be moved, but I just don't see how. So what's gonna happen is I think you just have one more year where everything's the same. Keefe is gone, new head coach in. Maybe this is the year that they go to the conference final. I think in a perfect world, if Marner was to... The only hypothetical trade that I saw that makes sense, be warned as well, in a Marner trade, Leafs fans, you are losing the deal. You are never coming close to even returning the same value, but I think that in itself is a win, because, again, you get his $11 million off, and then what you do with that $11 million on top of what you get in a trade is bonus. Because I don't think that Marner just walking is a total loss. You get him for one more year, maybe things go well, and maybe you re-sign him in the offseason if you actually, you know, has a postseason where he's not guaranteed to be a Leaf, right? Like, maybe that wakes him up, right? But that being said, Soros to Marner to Nashville. I was born just outside of Toronto. I've lived here my whole life. I gotta say, Nashville is my favorite city in North America. I would love it. So, I mean, like, me personally, but I'm not Mitch Marner, and I wasn't, you know, I'm not, you know, it is what it is. We'll have to wait and see. I need some hits now. I just think that one's the only one that makes sense for all teams involved and Marner, because, like, they should make the playoffs. They've got Askarov. You get a number 1 goaltender, because Joseph Woll is a great goaltender. It is very evident that they cannot rely on him. They cannot rely on him. He is a glass house. And that, you know, it's Freddie Anderson as a Hurricane. That's what he is. right? So they need to find their Kachekov or something. And I think Saros would be the first time that they have a legitimate bona fide number one goaltender. I guess early Freddie Anderson years. I mean, he was a back. No, he was a good starter. It's again playoff situation, right? That's the only one. So that's where I would go. A lot of yapping about the Leafs, I know, but they're just in the news quite a bit recently. I do think Dallas comes back, even though they blew game one, much like the Oilers did. Some people were asking about that. Second round has been good. First round was one of the worst rounds I think we ever had. We had 2 game 7. How many more hits do I need? And we're done. Okay. All right, perfect. So we did what we needed to do because we got all the objectives done. So now I've got 8 more of those collectibles, something that I'm just putting a little bit of a focus on. Not too much, but I just want to start getting them because, you know, it's coming to the point where, you know, I'm just falling so far behind that I might not get them. So Hot Rush is so funny to me. It's like, here's 45 packs that include absolutely nothing. All right. Oh my God, my one Hot Rush collectible. Here we go. It's almost annoying because it takes so long to go through all these stupid menus. You know, even the pack opening experience is off. It just needs, the UI needs a complete overhaul. I'm hoping that this year HUT gets its love. It's been like 6 years since HUT has gotten an overhaul. I'm hoping that this year, usually every year they pick one mode. Like last year it was World of Chell again, getting like the World of Chell store and all of that stuff. You know, 5 years ago was Be a Pro. Pricey game of pond hockey, you know, like it's been a minute since we've had HUT get an overhaul, which is funny because everyone just assumes that HUT is the mode that they always fix. They haven't done anything to it. Same game mode. All right, another couple of Rush collectibles. I wonder what I could do with those. I haven't even looked. All right, and then we got our 5 more XP collectibles. So this is what we wanted. So I think I'm just gonna put a focus on that, at least getting the Hot Rush collectibles done, because that's a massive bonus getting those. Because other than that, you're getting like 2 a day. And I think I actually can get some here. If I remember correctly. Yeah, I think I have enough. Let's go. All right, we get a couple of 3 base packs. Oh my God, dude. You gotta be joking. Yeah, see, and then I've got a few that I've done, but like this is annoying to have to just open. This is gonna, like, it just takes long. Master set player, here we go. All right, more junk. If they give me a master set player in these packs, I'll spend money next year. Doesn't look like it. Sorry, EA. All right. I almost have 100,000 coins as well. There's just really not much I can do. I talked about this in the last episode. I've got so many, you know, team of the season cards and you know, the fantasy Teravainen, the team builders. It's like you just kind of get locked in, right? Okay, another one. I always traded my silver players, by the way. Might as well just get a couple gold. All right, taking a look at these Hut Rush sets. Oh, I think I can make a diamond collectible. Let's go. Okay. All right, don't hate that. All right, I don't even know how many diamond collectibles I have. I never look at these sets, to be honest with you. All right, that worked out well. Let's, all right, let's throw that in there. How many diamond collectibles do I have? Do I have them stored anywhere? Oh, let's go. Okay, I've got a guaranteed 82 and above player pack. Here we go. Give me my 82 overall. Here we go. This is the one. Master set Brent Burns. Here we go. Dial it up. Show me it, potato salad. God, I hate you. 883, let's go. All right, so in the last episode, I did talk about how someone commented that, to me saying that the AI, when you set up in the offensive zone, they don't move, right? Like once you've got the overload set up, they just stand still and the AI and the other team can just cover them very easily. They said it's because I had the shoot cycle slider all the way to shoot. I don't think these do anything. So I changed it all the way over to cycle, but with behind the net, because of how behind the net works, the forwards are always kind of moving still. But I like overload more. I think there's more plays that you can do with it this year. And it's just more comfortable. So we're going to go into overload and we're going to see if we can notice the players moving once you get set up, especially at the point. That's where you notice it. So I believe it's burst this week again. So we're loving that because we can actually get some games done. The goal is still to get to Division 1. I'm at 1984. Let's see if we can get a big dub today and get a little bit closer. The Daily Yap. I actually love that. That's a podcast name right there. All right. I mean, like, this is the third time searching for a game. I'm gonna been searching for 9 minutes. This is getting tough. All right. I mean, are we gonna be able to do an episode here? There surely has to be somebody. Like, man, just go back to peer-to-peer. The bigger issue here is that not only is the player base super small, but it's separated into people in proximity to the server you're at. And I'm in the most populated one. And peer-to-peer fixes this. Yeah, I'm gonna have to call it. Sorry, fellas, no gameplay today. 20 minutes is a little much for me. Have a good one.